Let's continue to try to catch up on the movies that I have seen and review them, and let's start with Money Monster today. So, Money Monster is a thriller directed by Jodie Foster, starring George Clooney, Julia Roberts, and Jack O'Connell. In this movie, George Clooney is the host of a TV show called Money Monster. It's a TV show about finances, what to invest in, what stocks are going up, all that kind of stuff, but done in a fun, very over-the-top, crazy way. Well, some very unhappy viewer had invested all his stuff in this stock that bankrupt or just crashed due to a supposed glitch. And so now he storms into the studio, takes George Clooney hostage as well as everyone else in the studio, and he believes this is no glitch, this was all a conspiracy, and he wants to know the truth, and it becomes a race against time to figure out what exactly went on. Now, I definitely like Money Monster. It's a very effective thriller, very engaging, on the edge of your seat in many different moments of the film. I was invested with all the characters, and it was quite the entertaining mystery as well. It was thrilling on all aspects, even though some of the film felt a little by the numbers. The acting and the characters were great, especially from our three main leads, George Clooney, Jack O'Connell, and Julia Roberts. The three of them were definitely the best, but all the supporting actors and actresses did a fine job as well. I like George Clooney's character. He's definitely a flawed character that tries to redeem himself in this film, which is definitely something that's very easy to get behind with the main character. Julia Roberts' character is great as well because she's trying to control the entire situation from devolving into chaos. Constantly she's speaking in George Clooney's ear to try to get him on the subject, get him focused, and try to figure out what to do with the situation. But also makes sense for her character too because she's the one running the whole show. So she has that skill set to try to keep the situation under control. Jack O'Connell is a really great character too. You can understand where he's coming from, you understand his motivations, you understand the reason why he does the things he does in this film, even though you may not agree with some of his methods. So overall, those three characters greatly acted and really good characters to actually get behind and understand, and that's one of the things that can make or break a thriller, especially one that has a little bit by the numbers feel to it. That doesn't mean the whole film is completely predictable. There are moments where it seems to lead to a certain direction. You think this is what's going to happen in the scene, and then it does a total 360 and it does something completely different. But I think those twists, those 360 moments where you think it's going somewhere and it actually goes something completely opposite, is because the film has a bit of a cynical feel to it. It has a bit of satirical and parody elements within the film. Like, it's clear that the whole show, Money Monster, is definitely a parody of other financial shows that are of that same feeling or that same tone, that same sort of vibe. But I definitely think there's a satirical message throughout the film for several different things. And with that satire comes a lot of comedy in this film, which I wasn't expecting. Yeah, as many thrills and on the edge of your seat moments this film has, it has equal moments of comedy, and sometimes it works, sometimes it really didn't work for me. That's not to say I didn't find a lot of it funny. I found a lot of it really funny. It's just sometimes when I did feel it was funny, it didn't work for me as the film because it took away from the thrilling aspects of the entire movie. Like, there are times where I'm laughing, but at the same time I feel, that really took away some of the suspense, some of the thriller that I wanted in this film. And because it's trying to be satire as well, there are moments where that satire becomes so extreme that it becomes unbelievable, which clashes with the more realistic approach that the rest of the thriller aspect has. Yeah, sometimes that extreme satire of the film almost makes it as not unbelievable as God's Not Dead 2. Like how people act. Like, for instance, there's the part where they have just become hostages, the whole situation just went out of control, and it just became news. Well, as it's just becoming news, there are already newscasters and TV hosts and shows already making it into a comedy. Almost making fun of the whole hostage, very real situation in this movie world. And I think that's a satirical jab at media, but at the same time it gets so out of proportion, it gets so exaggerated for its satire that it becomes unbelievable even for the world it creates. And I think with this satire, it tries to have an ending where it tries to be impactful, it tries to make you really think, and it doesn't give a lot of hints or a lot of build to that moment. There are definitely moments, if you really look at it and you just see it as a satire and you know what the ending's like, you can go watch through it again and definitely see where those moments are that adds to the ending, and how it sort of takes a cynical approach on how we view news and how we view things on TV, and how we just go about our day after some tragedy or some really big news event has happened. But I just don't think there was enough building blocks of the satire in order to really, really make that ending work extremely well. Building blocks are there, just not enough. I definitely feel Money Monster is above average thriller. It probably would have been really good if it wasn't for some of the comedy just not working for me and feeling like the comedy took away from the thriller aspect of the film. And so I'm going to give Money Monster 3.5. So have you seen Money Monster? What did you think about it? Go ahead and comment below. And if you like this video and you want to see more, please subscribe and check out my movie reviews of 2015 and 2016. As always, this is Bruce Gifford, and this was Just My Opinion.